here we're going to turn the boat around and head downstream towards the Tower of London and then on to Greenwich. I do have to give you some safety information. It's not meant to alarm you, it's only routine. Just to let you know, all emergency exits are clearly marked in green and white. Those are all your sliding doors and windows. The emergency exit on the top deck, just use your imagination. Life rings, life rafts are situated around the wheelhouse, and all firefighting equipment and life jacket lockers are also clearly marked in green and white. Now if you do feel alarmed, there's a fully licensed bar in the lobby area, serving all manner of drinks: tea, coffee, soft drinks, beer, wine and spirits. The bar will be open for the duration of your journey. Now as we head down the river today, I will try and point out a few places of interest for you in a form of a live commentary. But please bear with me, as I'm not a professional tour guide, I'm just a member of the crew. So if I do make any mistakes, just bear with me. I will try my best to speak as slowly and as clearly as possible for anyone that may live overseas today. To your left hand side, the building with the green tiled roof and the flag post in the middle is the rear entrance to the Savoy Hotel. The Savoy is one of the most luxurious, unaffordable hotels in London. The cheapest room over there, about £500 per night. In that booking, you do get a complimentary breakfast, which includes a cup of coffee and a croissant. That's it. In front of you, we have the Waterloo Bridge, also known as the Ladies' Bridge, as it was built by 70% female labour, while all our men were away fighting in the armed forces. Now, it's the only bridge in London to ever be built on time and under budget. So I think you would all agree in saying with me, what a wonderful job the ladies have done building the Waterloo Bridge. We're going to pass through the Waterloo Bridge, and if you take a look to your right hand side, there's a large concrete building with the illuminated billboards. This is our National Theatre. It has been voted by 7 of London's top architects as one of the ugliest looking buildings in London. King Charles, when he was Prince Charles, described the building as looking like a backache to a nuclear power plant. Now the National Theatre is situated in a part of London we call the South Bank. The South Bank is our arts and entertainment area. It is the stretch of embankment from the London Eye to the Tower Bridge. You can walk along here, get yourself a nice cold pint, a very good standard of food, buy something from the markets, watch magicians, dance shows and singers. It all happens here at the South Bank. Now if you're going to visit London again anytime soon, come in the festive periods and come to the South Bank. All the trees here to your right are lit up, and you know the Coca-Cola lorries or trucks, whatever you want to call them, this is where they actually come. Coming up to your left hand side, there's a large white ship with a yellow funnel. That is the HQS Wellington. The Wellington was a sloop in the Royal New Zealand's Navy. It's now a floating livery company for Master Mariners. To be a Master Mariner, you need to have served at least 25 years at sea. Now if you look at the stern of the Wellington, there's a stone archway there with a bigger face of Old Father Thames. That is the Temple Arch. It's the natural dividing line between the city of Westminster we now leave behind us, and we now enter one of the world's smallest capital cities, the City of London. If you keep your attention to your left, you'll see a small red telephone box. Now there used to be hundreds of these here in the City of London. Now only one remains, soon to be converted into a 2-bedroom apartment complex with riverside views. Ahead of you, to your right, there's a red brick building. Now look at the roof, there's a tower, the famous Oxo Tower. This used to be the headquarters to Oxo. It was built in 1932, and back then it was one of the tallest buildings in London. But if you look at London skyline, something has changed in the last few years. Now if you're returning later today, in the evening, the Oxo Tower will be lit up, and it is a lovely picture if you are returning later this evening. Coming up to your left hand side, there's a large building site. Now look behind the building site, there's a building with a green sloped roof and a spire in the middle. That's the old City of London School for Boys. Many former Prime Ministers and politicians of this fine country have been educated over there. That's where they used to teach you how to lie and cheat. It's no longer a school, it's now an office for JP Morgan, the American bank. If you look in front of you, we have 2 bridges, the Blackfriars bridges. The first one, the Blackfriars Road Bridge. Now as we approach the road bridge, look at the support columns. Carved in the marble are stone birds. These are freshwater birds that can be found here on the River Thames. And on the other side of the bridge, we have carvings of saltwater birds that can be found out at sea. Now the reason why these birds are carved into the Blackfriars Road Bridge is because scientists believe fresh water means salt water, making it part of the River Thames branch. The next bridge, the Blackfriars Road Bridge. But you may notice the 8 red support columns either side of you here, the old remains of the first ever rail bridge to span the River Thames, the Alexandra St Paul's Rail Bridge. They can't remove these support columns, it would undermine the foundations to the modern day rail bridge we're now passing beneath. Here to your right hand side, this area is called Bankside. Now Bankside is in the district of Southwark. See that large brick building with the glass roof and the chimney stack? The old Bankside Power Station. It's no longer in use. It's now the home to the Tate modern art gallery. You can enter our art gallery today completely free of charge. See many things such as half a cow in a plastic box, an unmade teenager's bed, a pile of empty beer cans, and a man piling up a bunch of bricks. That's why the building was free to enter in the first place. Now, not to worry, after you walked outside that building, there's a pub there. You look to your left, a real piece of art. The large grey dome and golden cross of Sir Christopher Wren's masterpiece, St Paul's Cathedral. Took Wren 35 years to complete. Stands as the second largest unsupported cathedral dome in the Wells. The first largest being built in the vast city of Rome. The foundations to St Paul's are only 4 feet deep, where Wren himself and Lord Admiral Nelson are buried in the basement of the cathedral. Now, if you look here to your right in the river, see that little workboat? See that man there? His name is Lenny. He waves at everyone. He is the most happiest man I've ever met. And he is at work, surprisingly. To your right hand side, we have the white circular building with the thatched roof. That's a replica of Shakespeare's Globe Playhouse Theatre. In that theatre, you can see many of Shakespeare's plays being performed, such as Romeo and Juliet. Then I suppose you have the other good ones as well. Now, this is the only building in London to be constructed with wood since the Great Fire of London of 1666. Now, you look in front of you, we have the Southwark Bridge. Before we head through the bridge, we're going to take a look to our right hand side. Just before the bridge, along the embankment, there's a flight of stairs leading down to the river. These are known as Wren Stairs. This is where Sir Christopher Wren would board a small rowing boat every morning to be rowed across the river by a Thames waterman to supervise the construction work of St Paul's Cathedral. The 35 years it did take to complete the project. To your right hand side, the building with the red window frames is the Anchor Tavern at Bankside. It's a very famous and historical pub. In 2015, they celebrated their 400th birthday. We're now going to pass beneath the Cannon Street rail bridge, the last rail bridge you'll see today. There are no more rail crossings further down the river. Once we pass through the rail bridge, look ahead of you to your right hand side. There are 2 sandy coloured buildings, and between them is a sailing ship in wet dock. That's a full working replica of Sir Francis Drake's galleon, the Golden Hind. The Golden Hind was the vessel that Sir Francis Drake and his crew fully circumnavigated the globe under the secret orders of Queen Elizabeth I. That replica ship has followed Drake's route twice around the globe. Now in front of you, we have the London Bridge. Now a lot of people get confused here. They think the more impressive bridge down the river is London Bridge, but that is Tower Bridge. But as we pass beneath the new London Bridge, which was opened by our late Queen in the early 1970s, look to your left, because in the marble of the bridge you can actually see the name London Bridge engraved in the supports. When we pass beneath the new London Bridge, look to your right hand side. Dominating London skyline, we have the tall glass building, the Shard of Glass. At 1,016 feet tall, it's the tallest building in Western Europe. The building comprises of many things: offices, apartments, hotels and restaurants, and at the very top there's a viewing platform where you can pay up to £40 to look outside a window. To your left hand side, the glass square building is the London University for window cleaners. Next door, the sandy coloured building with the golden fish weather vanes is the old Linsgate Fish Market. Fish Market has stood on that site for nearly 900 years, before the tradition was sadly broken. They had to move to larger premises in the Docklands area. The building behind the trees there is Waterguard's house. This is our customs house. This is where they train the lovely, smiling people who rip your bags apart when you get to the airports. As you can see, the large warship group, the HMS Belfast, codename C-35. She saw action in the Second World War and was decommissioned from the Navy in the 70s and was brought here by the Imperial War Museum. She now rests peacefully here as a museum ship with a full 9 wonderful decks to explore. If you have children under the ages of 60, they do go on board for free. So you can lose your kids on here for quite a few hours. Now if you look ahead of you to your left, we have the world famous Tower of London, most famously known as a place of execution and a prison. It was once a royal palace, a royal mint, and even a royal zoo. It's now a museum. Now if you look down the river, we have the world famous Tower Bridge, a twin suspension and a bascule bridge. What I mean by a bascule bridge is basically